Today is March 30th, and this week there were 58 reported cases of COVID-19 in Charlotte-Mecklenburg County, which shows a 20% decrease over the last 2 weeks. Therefore, each subject is comfortable not to wear a mask. So, do you mind introducing yourself?
Sure. My name is Manu Guimaraes. I'm 19 years old. I'm from Georgia. Me and my family are originally from Brazil. I have a mom and a dad and a brother who's 8, and I am a college student.
Nice.
Thank you.
So where's home for you right now?
Georgia. So Cumming, Georgia. It's in the North Georgia area, like 45 minutes outside Atlanta.
Nice. How long have you been in the Charlotte area?
Since last August when I started school, so I can't do the math. Like, I want to say 6 months.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Nice. What are you studying in school?
Nursing with a minor in Spanish.
Cool.
Yes.
What made you want to go into nursing?
My mom was actually a nurse back in Brazil. She was a technical nurse, so she did charting and stuff. But she would tell me stories about her doing her clinicals and stuff, and she said that it was really cool and interesting to learn. And just during COVID in general, I think my passion for medicine grew. I've always wanted to go into medicine, and just thinking of having to go through 12 years of college is a little painful. So I choose nursing.
Gotcha. Yeah. You kind of mentioned it, but kind of being someone who was on the outside of the pandemic, watching it all happen, and wanting to go into nursing, how did that kind of affect your goals, or did it increase them, or kind of, are there any thoughts and feelings you want to share about that kind of process?
Yeah, so I think that during COVID, something that I just saw a lot was just a lot of people, different minorities, just weren't getting the same access as other minorities. There's just a very big gap in the quality of healthcare. And there was also just there's just this huge gap. There's a lot of people who are nursing majors who are doctors who aren't American citizens, but they're not allowed to work because of status and stuff, which is 100%, I get it. There was also this lack of medical professionals to help, and the people that could help and wanted to help couldn't because of this. So I just saw a lot of that. My next door neighbor was a nurse, and so she would talk about how this is something that was very true, and it affected a lot the past administration's policies on who can work and not, with immigration stuff really affected, I think, when it came to COVID. So
kind of going back a little bit further, what do you remember about the early days of COVID, or when you started to hear the rumors flying around about it coming?
I remember this so vividly. It was my sophomore year of high school, and we've heard about, we were oh, it's just this this disease. It was they say, I'm learning this in microbiology. It was just an epidemic in China. It was contained. It wasn't going to spread. And then we started hearing reports about it. I remember this so vividly. It was March 13th. It was March 12th. It was a Thursday. We were let out of school early that day. It was a half day. And me and my friends from our theater stuff, we went out to eat to just have fun, because it was a break, and we had spring break in 3 weeks. And we were out, and I get a call I didn't get a call. I got a text from my mom saying that Fulton County schools were closed, and I had friends that were from Fulton County schools. So I called one of my friends. I was like, hey, why are you guys closed? Are you guys okay? She was like, no, we actually got a case of COVID. And then, I kid you not, 5 minutes after, we get a text from Forsyth County, which was the county that I lived in. They were like, hey, we're closing school down for 5 days just to contain it. And then they're like, you're going to do school online, it'll be fine. And then we're starting to do school online. And then we get another text. They're like, okay, you guys can't come back until after spring break. And then after spring break, they're like, you guys, we're not coming back. It's indefinite. And so, I don't know, it was just crazy. It was just one thing after another and another, and getting adjusted to doing school online. And I don't know, it was just like one of those things,
Mm-hmm.
like you'll never forget.
Yeah, it's crazy how vivid in our memories it is. But what was doing school online like for you in high school?
It was rough, I'm not gonna lie. I like made a little makeshift office in our dining room table. I remember that. My brother also had school off, and so it was me and him, and he was in kindergarten at that time, and so he didn't really have that many things to do, so it was just me doing schoolwork but also watching my brother. So I remember like it was really because I was also doing AP exams and all that stuff, and so it was hard having to like concentrate. Like concentration was really hard for me because like I don't do well learning online. Like I need like a teacher there, and so I remember it being really difficult and lots of tears because I was taking chemistry. So I remember crying a lot. But yeah, it was really weird.
Mm-hmm. And then what else did you do during lockdown? Because like it was even like through the summer.
Yeah.
Are there any activities that you like to do a lot, or what was your relationship with your family like during that time?
I remember we decided to paint the house. That was our activity of a good 2 months. So we painted the entire house. So that was our activity because my parents didn't work for like a while. They didn't work for a while. And so we painted the house. I did a lot of TikTok trends because that was all we could do. Me and my brother did like weird science experiments because I also had to entertain like a 5-year-old at the time. Yeah, I did a lot of like reading. I redid my entire room because I was like, I can't do this. I played a lot of cool math games. It was a lot of Fireboy and Lava Girl and and a lot of like those stupid Papa's Pizzeria games. That was all I did.
What was it like being like in lockdown, all with your family for that long? Did it like affect you guys at all? Did it bring you closer, or like what do you think was the outcome of that?
I think that we've always been a very tight-knit family. I think it stressed us out more than most. My mom is a very like, she is not the stay-at-home mom type. She's always constantly working, and so I think being at home just kind of strained, like it was just rough for her, and so we kind of like got that like vibe. And so it wasn't until they started working again that I think it got better. And then it was like towards like not the end but like fall of COVID, it got a little rough. Just like family stuff was happening, and so I don't know, I think the time before it was fine, like we were normal. Yeah.
At that point you just figure out how to make
it work. Exactly.
What do you think were some of the biggest challenges you faced during the pandemic?
That's a good one. I think it was like mostly like just like academic challenges, like making myself motivated and wanting to continue to do work. It was also more of like it was really rough for me just because during like the Easter time, like so this time like 3-4 years ago, because that's crazy to me, like it was like Lent and Easter time, and me and my family were really like, my parents especially are really like into like the Catholic faith, and so it was more of like it had a really bad like religious impact on me, COVID, because I'm all about like things happen for a reason. And so like this happening, there had to be a reason, but there was just death everywhere. That's so morbid to think, but that's like, I don't know, it was really rough because like we were going to church online and doing all of this. The Pope had these celebrations, this, and that, and like we would watch them, and the entire time I wasn't feeling like relief. I was feeling like dread. I was like, why does this keep happening? And at that time, everybody was terrified to get it because people were dying of it. So it was a lot.
It was a lot.
Well.
What do you think are any good things that you learned during the pandemic about yourself or just in general about life that you learned?
I learned that life is short, which is really cheesy to say, but it's true. I learned that you gotta kind of have just like strength to keep going through the hard times, and also just peace and like give yourself as much grace as possible is something that I've definitely learned, because some things will fall through the cracks, and that's okay as long as you're able to like, you know, keep going. So I don't know, I guess it was that. I don't remember much of it to be honest.
And how do you think it's been like kind of transitioning out of all the restrictions from COVID? Do you think like there'll ever be like a back to normal, like how everything used to be, or are we kind of like making a new normal? Or what was the feeling like getting to be like back out in the world again?
I feel like, I don't know, it's kind of like, I wish, like it's still scary to think because like COVID is still a thing and it's still affecting a lot of people, and so we should always of course be cautious. And it was crazy how like things change really quickly. I think from not having COVID to like now, where it's like, yeah, it's a thing, but like people aren't really careful about it or just don't care. I think that it's not that it's time to move on. We just have to learn how to adapt with this new reality that we're living. And also, although it's like not happening now, we still have to account for like a year where it like took a toll on all of us mentally. And so I think that I don't think things will ever go back to normally, not in like a bad way. It's just like it's part of like life. Like we experienced something, all of us, the entire world did, that it's gonna forever like be something that affected us in good ways and bad ways. So yeah.
How's your life changed since March of 2020?
A lot of, I don't know, I think that it's like not COVID, yeah, of course it affected my life, but there were like other stuff going on with my family that changed a lot more. I think the only thing that COVID did was realize that I'm good with being alone. Like I don't always need people around me. It's taught that I can find comfort and peace in like my alone time. It's taught me that I'm not able to do school online. But it hasn't really like, I know other people have been more impacted by it, but to me personally, it didn't really like change my life. Like all of it. It just like, it was just like that year of everything goes wrong. So 2020 was just a bad year in general. So yeah.
Is there anybody in particular that kind of helped you get through some hard parts of COVID, or that was kind of an outlet for you to talk to or anything? Maybe somebody or something that like you wrote about on your hand map that you might want to share?
Yeah, I wrote my friends, and that was very vague, but it was just like that. Going back to school was rough, because like everything was so limiting. Like we were fortunate enough that we could go back to school. Of course, there were like masks policies and everything, but I was able to go back and have like that junior year experience. I really relied, like one of my friends, like one of my best friends now, she was at another school district her freshman and sophomore year, and so she transferred to my school her junior year, and just like we became really close. And it was like her friendship that like helped me get through that year, especially. Like it was just a lot after one another. And so like after like lockdowns, lots of time staying home too, like 3 COVID scares, like I went on quarantine for like a good like 5 times that year for school. And so it was a lot of like her support and also my family's support to kind of get us through that. So
nice. What was it like coming back to school after like being online for so long? What was that transition like?
It was really nice. I'm not gonna lie. I liked it. I hated online school. A lot of people liked it because like they could stay in bed, but that just wasn't me. Like I need routine, and I've had that routine for like since like kindergarten of waking up, going to school. And so to me it was amazing. Like I liked it a lot. And it was weird like not being able to do the normal things that we did. But I enjoyed it a lot. It was a good junior year. So yeah. Nice.
And what were some of the things that like made you choose to come to Queens?
It's a small campus, so I really enjoyed that. I have a scholarship, which I'm really fortunate to have, that allows me to be here. So it was mostly like the scholarship that I got, and also the environment itself. It's a small community. It's nice in the city. So.
Any other stories or experiences you want to share about either your time in COVID, like any funny stories or like just things that are very vivid in your mind from your time in lockdown or just like COVID in general?
It's like it's just like multiple things, like things that you don't even remember until somebody asks you about. So when quarantine started, my dad on the 13th, like the day that like we like really shut everything down, he got laser eye surgery because like he used to wear glasses, and so I went with him to get like because he needed somebody else to go with him, so I went with him, and after him getting LASIK, and I just remember like thinking, oh, I'll be back at school in like a week or whatever, and we get back home and the doctor's like, okay, here's your follow-up date, and I don't know why, and I was like, my dad hasn't been to the eye person in 3 years. Ever since he got his surgery, he's never been back because COVID, and he also just kept forgetting. And so like sometimes I think about it, I was like, yeah, that happened then. And so I don't know, it's just one of those things.
What was it like going out in public during like the height of COVID with like everyone masked and stuff? How do you think like socially, how was it like trying to go out?
I remember the first time I went out after everything went on lockdown, I went to Costco of all places, and I remember I was like, why am I here? And I was like, I just need to get out of the house. So we went to Costco, me and my dad, and like we had our masks on, and there were still people who weren't wearing masks at the time, and so like they were requiring it. But it was strange, like seeing everybody wearing masks, because it's like things that you don't think you'd ever see, but now it's just become a norm. You don't really question it. So
well, if there's not anything else, that's all I have for you.
Okay.